The New Zealand Shearing Open takes place at Te Kuiti this week. There's qualifying Thursday and Friday with a final coming up on Saturday. Many punters like me are a bit sheepish when it comes to betting on shearing. So to share his knowledge on shearing, we've called in sports bookmaker Kieran McAnulty. Kieran, explain to us the New Zealand Open shearing. How does it work?
Well, everyone knows of shearing as an occupation, but not everyone knows of shearing as a sport, and we're very happy to offer odds on it because, of course, it's something that it's very dear to my heart. But how it works is quite simple. They've got 20 crossbred sheep. They want to do it as quick as possible, and it's judged over three categories. You've got time, you've got quality, and you've also got penalty points out the back. So obviously you want to do it as quick as you can, but you want to make sure that your technique's right and your quality's right as well.
Not long ago we had the chance to bet on the Golden Shears. Where does the New Zealand Open sort of sit alongside the Golden Shears?
Well, when we were up at the Golden Shears, we were talking to Brian Lahore, Masterton legend and shearing icon as well, and he said that the Golden Shears was sort of the Wimbledon of shearing, and I suppose that's the best way to think of it. That's for the world to aspire to, and this is for New Zealand shearers to aspire to. So there's no international acts here, it's just the best New Zealand shearers vying for the title.
John Kirkpatrick won that title and he's a $2 favourite for the New Zealand Open. Do you think that's a little short?
Well, no, I'd actually like him to be shorter, to be honest. But,
so the Golden Shears is a good form guide for this?
Very much so. Yep, there's only a couple of competitions. Well, there's shearing competitions every weekend throughout New Zealand, various AMP shows and various things like that. But here you see John Kirkpatrick, $2 favourite. You've got David Fagan there as well, shearing icon.
Well, he's the guy that we know, like somebody like me who's very much on the outside looking in here. David Fagan's the guy we know and relate to. What's his form like? I mean, he's out to $6.
Yeah, well, I'm not very comfortable about that, but I have to push him out because I want to keep John Kirkpatrick short. He's such a good chance, but you can't write off David Fagan as well. 608 titles this man has won in the open grade, and over 29 years of shearing. The fact that he's 49 is irrelevant. He won this competition last year, and that qualified him for the World Champs. He came third in the Golden Shears this year and last year, so he is in form. It's just that John Kirkpatrick is the reigning Golden Shears champion and coming into this with some good form.
So that was the overall winner that we looked at there, 967. You've also got a 968 option, which is top three, so effectively we could back someone like David Fagan or whoever we like for a place, if you like.
Absolutely, yes, and of course that's when the outsiders start to come in because, of course, you've got the likes of Cam Ferguson there at $2.75 to come in at top three, and people like Dion King, who's won it before, Adam Broush, Nathan Stratford and Dean Ball, all these guys have made the final of the Golden Shears before. So there's a good chance, there's good place money there, and if you look at the form and that was a horse, you'd be happy to take $5 a place, wouldn't you?
I see Paul Avery there, and he's at $3.30 on top three there. Is that the Paul Avery that just competed in the Coast to Coast?
It is, yeah. He won the veteran grade.
Okay.
So that was his first time of competing, and of course he's famous for being a previous world champion, previous golden champion and New Zealand champion 3 times. So that's how he got in the news that way. But so there's no questioning his fitness. But shearing form, it's like any sport. You've got to do it to keep on top of your game. And he failed to make the final in the Golden Shears, so that's why he's out just a little bit extra.
Okay. Look, for the really cautious punter, you've got to make the final, and I think it's top 6 that goes through to the final.
That's right, six shearers in a final. You'll see the likes of John Kirkpatrick and Roland Smith. They're very short because they're almost certainties. Yep. And we're seeing a bit of money coming through the multis there just to bump up the odds. But then anything above past Paul Avery there at $1.40, you've really got some good money just to make the top 6. Now, anyone in the top 12 really has a genuine chance. So if you were to look at Jason Wynne, who performed well at the Golden Shears, James Fagan, who's David's nephew, very good shearer, $3.50 to make the final is actually quite good money.
Okay, so that's option 969 to make the final, and it's top 6 into that final. Beyond the names that we've talked about, some of which I recognise, some I don't, and I'm trying to put myself into the public, and probably the same. Any other chances? Is there a bolter in there?
Oh, absolutely. The one and only bolter, well, the front runner, if you will, is Roland Smith. Okay. He came second at last year's New Zealand champs, and people thought it was a one-hit wonder. They hadn't heard of him before, but since then he's gone and won the Australian Open and various titles. He's won 2 titles in the last 3 weeks after coming second in the Golden Shears. So he opened at 40s in the Golden Shears, and we got a heck of a fright because, of course, the punters jumped on. So we're keeping him safe at second favourite.
Okay. Right, other options. There's an option 966 you're going to have to explain to me. Wool handling.
Yeah, well, it's not as
Help me
obvious
out.
as shearing, but there's three sports within the shearing umbrella. You've got shearing, you've got wool pressing, and you've got wool handling, and all three of those comprise what happens in a shearing shed.
Okay.
So as the sheep comes off the wool over the years, the wool handlers would separate the bad bits of wood, grade it as they go, and then put it into a fadge for the packers to pack up. But of course, that's evolved into a sport, and it's a very specialist skill. You've got Joanne Kumaroa there, $2.10. She's won the Golden Shears wool handling title the last 2 years in a row. But Joel Hanare is a rampant winner over the various AMP shows and things like that. They're by far the front runners. Kieran Herbert and Sri Alabassa, they've both represented New Zealand in various world championships.
Okay.
And then you've got others as well who are in with a shot, but really it is those two, Joanne and Joel, that are in with the best shot.
Oh, well, thanks for bailing us out on the wool handling. Just in terms of the Golden Shears, which obviously was a good prelude for you to taking betting on this, how popular was it?
Oh, very popular. By far one of the most popular years we've had. Falling just slightly behind last year, which was easily the most successful year we've had. We had a terminal on site this year, and punters relished the opportunity to get on. Of course, they're sitting there watching the shearers, and then they get me up on stage and talk about the odds, and suddenly they're interested, pop out the back and chuck a bet on it. It was great to see, and things like this capture punters' imaginations, and shearing really embodies the New Zealand identity, I suppose. It's one of those things that you sort of only really see in countries like this, and punters are pretty happy to get on board.
Yeah. Okay, Kieran, so interesting few days for you. Thanks for your time.
Oh, I can't wait. Thanks. Cheers.
Kieran McAnulty there, a sports bookmaker, so don't have the wool pulled over your eyes when it comes to betting on shearing. tab.co.nz, you can run over all of those odds and have a little bit of fun this weekend.